It's not like a nail place.
What, the radiator's not working?
It's freezing. Can I go and touch it? Is that
Ah,
right?
I'm not using it. Oh, you can take the upstairs one, yeah?
Bathroom at the moment. We didn't have any polishing stuff.
Got a silver polish.
It doesn't do anything. It's just literally a cloth. We need the actual polished stuff you put on the cloth. Is it?
You're not doing it.
that's a great way to get our Sunday afternoon started. The Polofzian dances from Prince Igor by Borodin, played by the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra on Classic FM, conducted by Herbert von Karajan. And before that, a real vintage treat. George Guest directing the choir of St John's College, Cambridge, in the carol Good King Wenceslas, with a very young Stephen Cleobury playing the organ, an even younger Simon Keelyside, who went on to a great career as a baritone, still a treble, he's the page, and as King Wenceslas himself, the redoubtable Richard Stewart, star later in life of Gilbert and Sullivan operettas. What a team! It's beginning to sound a lot like Christmas here at Classic FM. Over the next 3 hours, there'll be carols to sing along with, just the sort of thing if you're deciding where to put the elf on a shelf. Musical comfort and joy, though, isn't about carols only. Pianist Benjamin Grosvenor will be along before 2 o'clock. There'll be 2 visits to Ballyland, neither of the Nutcracker. And after 3, I'm going to mark today's first day of Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights. But right now, operatic grandeur. When Hector Berlioz finished writing The Trojans, he declared, "I'm sure I've written a great work, greater and nobler than anything done hitherto."
Hi Patrick, how you doing?
All Pareil and the Detroit Symphony Orchestra with the Trojan March by Berlioz for his opera, The Trojans. And drumroll please, the next Classic FM Live at the Royal Albert Hall will be an opera gala. Starry soloists and the outstanding chorus and orchestra of the English National Opera. Not till April, but tickets have just gone on sale. The perfect Christmas gift. Here are our executives and choristers and lay clerks who sing the Christmas cathedrals around this city hour. Katie Bradford and family are decorating the Christmas tree with the sound of Classic FM, which is just emailed me. So greetings, Katie and family. Look forward to seeing you later this week. I still got a kind of envy seeing the words girl choristers, because the girl choristers and lay clerks of individual ceremony in charge, and Philip Stratford's A Christmas Blessing. I get the pang because that was an idea that didn't exist when I was growing up. Even further back in time, when Felix and Fanny Madison were growing up, that was the question of her taking up music as a profession. That's not how I thought. Here's the second movement of the Scottish Symphony on Classic.
Sunday afternoons on Classic FM with Biscoe Best Gravy, bringing people together over a home-cooked meal.
Mendelssohn on Classic FM with the Chamber Orchestra of Europe, conducted by Yannick Séguin, in the second movement of Mendelssohn's Now, what was the weather doing as you flung wide the bedroom curtain this morning ready to come to bed? You did that now, in case the sky was the colour of pewter, here's a Richard Strauss sunrise. So encourage us all.
The home of Christmas music.
Classic FM.
The Coventry Carol, sung by the choir of Queen's College, Oxford, conducted by Owen Rees. And if you fancy non-stop Christmas music to get you through the day, head to classicfm.com or Global Player. Before that, a sunrise from Richard Strauss's Ausersprache Zarathustra with the National Youth Orchestra of Great Britain, conducted by Edward Gardner. Now, for piano music that's as twinkly as tinsel, Benjamin Grosvenor having lots of fun with the second movement of the Concerto No. 2 by Saint-Saëns. 5.5 minutes of pure fun. The central movement of the Concerto No. 2 by Saint-Saëns, with Benjamin Grosvenor, supported by the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic and conductor James Judd. Still to come before 2 on Classic FM, Handel in seasonal mode.
Sunday afternoons on Classic FM with Bisto Best Gravy. Great meals are even better when shared together.
Heading out this weekend? Find the latest travel information at classicfm.com.
You may not know, but legislation around smoke and carbon monoxide detectors has changed in England and Wales. It means your home, family, your tenants might not be properly protected. So give the ACO website a visit. It's simple,
eco.co.uk. Safety first, eco first. He's performed for royalty and leaders across the globe. And this weekend, one of the world's most famous singers comes to Classic FM. With his children, Mateo and Virginia, in a very special program.
My house is the red music. My house is the red, my boy. The one is so much to say. Very, very tired.
Christmas
is always a challenge, is not to get impatient when you're cutting this on a wood lathe. You've got to take your time, otherwise it starts to crack, or chunks rather, start to come off. When you hear that crunching noise, that means, not this noise, that's because the surface is not even, but once you get into the round, if you hear a sudden crunch, it's not good. What you find is the acrylics, the rods, they've all got different colours and swirls and things like that, and that the translucent ones as well. So they've all got a very slightly different makeup, and they react differently and behave slightly differently. At least that's what I've found. So some have got more tolerance and you can cut them quicker, and some of them you have to take it really slow, otherwise they break. They're more brittle. I think the more ingredients they have, the more likely they are to be brittle. Which I suppose is logical, because there's more parts that can break apart.
What a gorgeous pair of coral pieces. 4 entourages at Chinese one, chorus from Handel's Messiah. In the 16th
Oh yeah, a sharp tool is an absolute must. It's not helps is an understatement. It's an absolute must. I mean, this one is sharp, but it's not as sharp as it is when it's new. So you just have to be a little bit slower. You've got to turn at high speed. wrecked it. I have wrecked it. Bugger. I went too low underneath. Oh man. That's an hour's work down the pan. Hey, Radu. I held the tool too low and it went underneath and it just chipped the whole thing. It happens every so often. You lose concentration. You can't hold the tool too low because the thing is spinning in this direction. If you hold the blade too low, it catches it and pulls it down, and then it gets caught underneath the piece of work you're working on, and then it breaks it. I've done that a few times. It's just one of those things, you know, you can't think of everything all of the time, and you just learn from your lessons. That's very, very frustrating, more than I can say right now. After a lot of painstaking work making that, a lot of work, I just can't. When I have to, just regroup and start again. But that's a very frustrating process. So you just need to put a little bit of a break in it and do something else for a bit. Keep calm, which I'm struggling to do right now, but I'm managing somehow. But you got to keep calm and just imagine that it's just another piece of work and not the same work that you have to do again. That's really what it's about. Alexa, stop. That's always the hard piece, is that it's in your mind, because I'll give you an example. When I make a pipe, for instance, if I do a commission pipe, and I work hard on a pipe and the pipe comes out fantastic, and then I send pictures off to the commissioner, and they'll like the pipe, but they'll make some remark as to some part of it that they don't like, and you have to redo something. Now, when it's a commissioned pipe, you're obviously making a pipe to the specification of the commissioner. But if you've done that, but they still want something else, and you, as a pipe maker, you don't want to disappoint your customer at the end of the day, so you just say, fine, I'll do it. It's just frustrating because you've done the pipe to the best of your ability, the creative side of it you're happy with. It's just, you know, they've got a slightly different maybe idea in their mind, which they didn't tell you beforehand. That's just frustrating, but you have to suck it up. You know, that's the job you're in. When you're in the service industry, you just, customer is always right. Unless the customer is being unreasonable, that's a different matter. Then I'll just say, fine, don't take the pipe, don't have it. I'd rather you don't have it than be disappointed with it. You know, I've had, I must be honest with you, I mean, I really try very hard to give customers what they want. Sometimes you just can't please the customer. I had that once or twice. I had that with one particular customer. They asked me to make a pipe, and they said they want it to be not too big, not too small, an average kind of size pipe. They didn't specify any measurements. And one thing I try to do is to make it easy for people to commission a pipe. And I'll often, if they've got measurements, I'll say, fine, give me measurements. But otherwise, I say small, medium, large. I don't do group 1, the group 2, 3, 4. People don't know what that means. A lot of people, some do, but a lot of people don't. So I just say, do you want small, medium, or large? And if they want specific, then I say, give me the dimensions. Just put the extractor on. So I made this pipe for this customer, sent him the pipe, and when he got it, he said, this pipe's too small. Now, because it was a commission, if somebody commissions a fairly classic pipe and they don't like it, so you could put it on the website and sell it, hopefully, and that's fine. But when somebody commissions a pipe which is specific, you may have a tough time selling it. So if you've fulfilled the commission but the customer's just decided that they don't want it, it's a bit difficult. I mean, I'll never force a customer to keep a pipe, assuming they haven't smoked it, but I'll never force a customer to keep it if they don't want it. The last thing I want is a customer to have a pipe they don't want. So I said to the customer, fine, no problem. Send me the pipe back, I'll make you a new pipe. Give me the dimensions, I'll make you an exact pipe to what you want. I can't say fairer than that. The customer still wasn't happy. And I realized that the customer simply wanted their money back. With a commission, I wanted to avoid that because, as I say, a commission is a fairly specific pipe, not going to be so easy to sell. Ultimately, I probably would have done, but he simply said, after I offered to make another pipe, he said, don't worry about it, I'll give it away to somebody else. At that point, I realized that the person wasn't being reasonable. And I said, fine. I think I gave them every option, to try and make it right. And I left it at that, and that was it. I haven't heard from him since, so. Yeah, so those kind of things can be frustrating. But when you spent an hour cutting a pipe, in fine detail like that, where very painstaking, and just to mess it up because you haven't been concentrating, it's very, very frustrating. And you have to come out somehow, just say to yourself, like I said before, just imagine you're making a different pipe. The frustrating side of it is the fact that you've done it. It bothers you to have to do it again. And when in reality, it's just another piece of work. It's frustrating that you've wasted all of that time and effort, yes, but c'est la vie. So I'll have a pipe instead, just to catch my breath and reboot, relax, calm my mind. Because at the moment, although I'm sitting here puffing on my pipe, my mind is going a lot faster than my body at the moment because I'm frustrated. So soon they will synchronize. My pipe smoking and my brain will synchronize, and I'll be able to continue. Forget and move on, absolutely. A lot of times it happens on the The last time I did it, it happened on the shank, and so I had to rethink the pipe. I had to trim the shank. Actually worked out really well. The pipe worked out really nice. I think it was actually, was it this pipe? My last one? I think it might even have been this pipe. No, this one had a flaw. No, this one had a flaw. But one of the pipes that I've done recently, I had to trim. I don't remember which one it was. This is the other Christmas pipe, which is now sold. Actually would have made a nice set. It's all the same materials, just a different shape. It's oh, maybe I should offer it to the guy that bought the first one. You were in 2 blocks, Radu. That's not good. How are you drilling? On a drill press, or by hand, or on a lathe? How are you doing it? How's the pipe making going, Alex? I see you haven't shown any of your pipes. Your last video was like 3 years ago. You got a vertical drill stand, you know, one that you put your own drill into and you have a handle to bring it down. Is that what you mean? Or have you got an actual drill, a vertical drill, which is on its own stand? Oh no, you've got it on one of those hand jobs. I see. I was tempted to buy one of those in the beginning, but I never did, and I ended up buying a drill press, which I don't use. I don't think I've ever made a pipe with it. It's in the garage sitting there rotting. Contract? Well, you've got a contract to make pipes? Well, you make them pipes or you do repairs? I'd really love to see your pipes, Alex. Yeah, a lathe should be fine to do all of those jobs. Absolutely. The advice I give to people when they ask me about lathes is to get one with a variable speed. That's really important, because when you're sanding and when you're buffing, you're going to be using different speeds, and when you're turning, you're going to use different speeds depending on materials that you're turning. So I think it's imperative to have a variable speed machine, one that you can speed up and slow down with a knob rather than having to change the gears, you know, to have to move the band, because that's just not workable. It takes too much time. So sometimes it might cost you $100 or $200 more to set up, to buy such a lathe. You know, if you're looking at the lower end, if you're starting up, that's what I did. I could have bought a lathe for £300 when I first started, and the first one, that I bought, I went for one with a variable speed, and I paid an extra £200 for that, and it was worth every single penny. This is my first lathe, and you can see the controls there, the black knob, the speed control, and that is now my buffing station. It has been when it was out in the garage as well. You use it occasionally as a lathe when that lathe has got other stuff on it and I don't want to take it off, so I'll occasionally use it as a lathe, which it kind of helps that this thing slides in and out this wall, so I can get into there to push out the stuff if I need to. And there's no reason why you can't sand, especially if you've got a rotating head. I wouldn't advise it because you have to keep resetting it each time when you want to turn. So, but you could sand like that sideways. Many people do. Have you already bought the lathe? Wondering? You have to remind me your name, sorry. I forget. Adam. I can't guarantee I'll remember it, but I'll try. Honestly, I mean, I don't know what your financial situation is, but if you're able to change that order somehow and get yourself one, if you want to use it for all of those tasks, I think it's imperative. I think you really, really need one with a variable speed. It's the best bit of advice I can give you. If they would allow you to change it, you know, add some more money to it, even if it means you have to wait, I would do that. Especially since you want to do everything on that lathe. That's so important. Yeah, I realize that, Adam. All lathes have got those gears that you can move the band, but when you move the band, each band is a static speed. It's not variable as such. You've got 5 speeds. It's a 5-speed lathe, but each speed is fixed once you move the band. With a variable speed, within each ratio, within each gear, within each position where the band is, you can the adjustments are infinitesimal. I couldn't be more robust about giving you this advice. Is if you can somehow, like I say, even if you have to wait and save up the money, get one which is variable. It's so important for you, especially as you want to use it for different tasks. Yeah, I mean, I've been close to getting a metal lathe more than once. And I did buy a small one, but I wasn't happy with it and sent it back. The key thing for me is just the speed at which I'll be able to make bands and adornments. And maybe do metal turning and things like that, but other than that, which I have no real need for. You know, when you're working on a wood lathe, the quill on the live center on the tail stock has a bit of wiggle in there, and you have to be careful when you're drilling to make sure you get it center. I thought that if you get a metal lathe, it's the same. It's absolutely rock solid, but I've spoken to people and they say that a metal lathe also has a wiggle there. So for me, that was going to be one of the biggest reasons to get one, actually, more than so than for cutting adornments. It was really about the accuracy. I believe they are more accurate, but they're not 100% accurate. So since I've kind of taught myself to do quite a wide range of adornments on a wood lathe, I'm quite okay at the moment. Hey Advox, it's always nice to increase your range of machinery, but I think for me, my next upgrade really needs to be the sandblasting setup. I've already got 3/4 of it. Thanks to Big Phil. Well, I've got a compressor, I've got the airline, I just need the cabinet. So I've got the three parts, I've got 2 of them, I need the third, which is the cabinet. Cabinets are not that expensive actually. It's the compressor which is the most expensive thing to get, the compressor which is man enough to be able to do continuous blasting. Because most compressors, like workshop compressors, small workshop compressors, they'll blast air for a minute or 2 or something like that, and then you have to wait until it recharges. When you're doing sandblasting on pipes, you want to be able to sandblast for 20 minutes at a time, and if you're really into it, you might want to do it for an hour or 2. You don't have to be sitting around waiting for the system to recharge. And I think it takes a lot of patience. I mean, you see a lot of, the vast majority of pipe makers, their sandblasts are quite shallow because it takes a lot of time, to do a beautiful ring grain, which is very defined and quite deep. It takes a long time, so you have to be really patient. It'll be a steep learning curve for me when I do get it, because I have to start to understand the fundamentals of using a compressor, and also, which type of media to use, what effects the different types of media have, and then actually sandblasting, the effect it has on the wood, how quickly I need to turn it, rotate it as I'm blasting, how many times you want to blast the whole of the pipe. Taping up areas to make sure that you get a nice transition between the blasted areas and the smooth areas. There's a lot to learn there, so it's a whole new experience for me, which will be nice. But it would be really nice to be able to have that sort of feather in my cap, to add that to my range of finishes that I have. Okay, I've got the carve blast, which is really, really, really good. That's why I've probably not rushed into doing it. It's not something which I feel a pressure to get a sandblasting setup, but it's something I do want to do. It'd be interesting to see what takes me longer, to do a sandblast or to do a carve blast, because although a carve blast is a rustication ultimately, and people tend to charge less for rustications, it actually takes me a lot longer to do a carve blast than it does a smooth pipe. And although smooth pipes involves a lot of sanding, it actually takes me longer to do a carve blast. So you won't actually see a big price difference between my pipes, depending if it's a smooth or a carve blast. The price difference that you mainly see with my pipes is the grain, but the finish, there isn't really a price difference, because I actually think there's a big fan base for a sandblast type finish, whether it's carve blast or sandblast, more so than a rusticated finish. I think sandblast itself is a beautiful thing. And I think originally the sandblast was devised for pipes which had flaws, but were still good pipes. And so sandblasts, when you go onto websites, big companies like Danish Pipe Shop or any of them, the smoking pipes, a smooth pipe will always cost more than a sandblast. But for me, I don't actually see a difference in principle, because I think there's a beauty, a real beauty in sandblasting. Yeah, there's a learning curve with each stage. You know, my first learning curve was just shaping, getting balance on the shaping, which was before I used the lathe, when I was using kit blocks. Excuse me, please.
Hello.
Hi, I'm just I don't know, what can I do for you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I love my showers for the box. So you need to improvise on your
What do you need?
well, the showers.
Give me one of the glasses. They're not in the drawers.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
What glass?
So what do you need?
I need for the showers.
What is your show me? I don't know what it is.
It's the back
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And always got like a little slot. The showers go into like a little square thing. You just like
Okay, bring me in without the glasses.
fill that up.
Yeah. I'll take a picture.
Phone.
Yes.
I need a hug.
Yeah, I'm just.
I haven't had one.
Yeah, alright.
I haven't seen you.
How was Heather? You see the new piece today?
Huh?
Started the new piece?
No,
Alright, kid.
I've got a test tomorrow.
Good for you.
Not good for me.
Yeah, it's good.
What? Are you live?
Yeah,
Can they hear me?
yeah.
Oh, hello. Can they see me? Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello, Radu. Okay, bye. Off you go.
I want to see it.
No.
I want to still
No.
see it
No.
now.
Oh.
Bye.
Where was it? Where were you keeping this?
In the box.
Where?
In the cupboard with a big coat.
Okay.
It's like one of those little things which on the near stem on it. One of those little things. That goes
Yeah.
down.
Well, I can make you something if you just bring me the. Take the. You filled it. It's only one you've done. It's only one.
So I can put it back in the holder.
Just pour the oil back in. Put the oil in a glass or something, and then bring me up, and I'll try and make something for you.
Alright, thank you. Or I could
Oh,
just...
you've got a glass, yeah?
What glass? Or I could just maybe put a candle somewhere next to it. Back in those hours, just put a candle.
Yeah, you can even trim the end of a candle and slot it in there. It's not really neat. It's no big deal. This thing won't slot in there. One of these glasses. I'll go straight into it.
It's square, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not smaller than
And
that.
when you've got super glue on, one of the things that was loose. I'll bring it up. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no point bringing it up. I don't know if there'll be time today. So just use a candle today. I'll give you the glue. Or do you want me to glue it? But just don't get it on your fingers. You have to shake it that it goes because it's gel. So I think for today, just use the thing.
Just put a candle next to it. I don't think it'll
Yeah.
work.
And tomorrow, if you want, I can try and make you something. Or tonight.
Right, thanks.
Right.
Something fell off for. Who's somewhere to get it now?
Yeah, it's too early now. Much too early.
I'm not
Oh,
happy
5:30.
because I'm not getting better, and it's from the cold. I don't know what to do. Someone's nicked my scarf. I've never kissed the scarf, and I can't find it now.
Yeah, everybody doesn't have to do.
No, but my head is.
So you can take Sudafed
I
or
just
something.
did it. I haven't got Sudafed.
Why didn't you get none?
Because I didn't think. I just went out now and have my bag with me. It's heavy. Do you know what I mean? It's all. I can feel it's all
You might
there.
have, you might have COVID.
I don't know if it is.
When?
2 days ago. It's every time I need to blow my nose doesn't feel full, but it's like it's over here. I feel it. Do you know what I mean? I just don't seem
It's a
to
head
get-
cold.
I'm not getting better because of this.
Actually, where is the block? I'll just show you the pipe I'm making. So what I wanted to do is make a canted egg with a large godet and then a spigot style stem. But I've managed to screw up the stem, so there's some nice grain on this pipe. Cheers, Adam. Well, if you get a nice block for sandblasting, if it's got a nice ring grain, there's no reason not to get a good sandblast. You could usually tell what it's going to look like. And then it's down to your skill with sandblasting. In the same way as when you sand a block and you wet it and you see where the grain is, you can normally see a ring grain as well. See this pipe here, I can see the ring grain. It would make a really nice ring grain. I can see it just by looking at it here. It's just going across like that. That's Selfridges humdrum. Selfridges is famous each year for making displays in each of their windows, and they make a different display in each window. And we normally go and see them every year, this time of year. Yeah, you should definitely get pre-drilled blocks. A lot of tobacconists online have the pre-drilled blocks, so whatever's local to you will probably be the best bet. But otherwise, you can get them Vermont freehand. You can get them on rawcrafted.com. I can't remember where I got mine. It's going back a few years now. I might have even got them from the Danish Pipe Shop. I don't remember. The Danish Pipe Shop does them as well, but they're not cheap there. You're better off getting them from somewhere like Vermont Freehand or Rawcrafted. In fact, Rawcrafted has a really nice selection with stems already drilled in and everything like that. Remind me again, Radu, you're in, or is it Romania you're in? There's nothing here in the UK. I'm not that familiar with European sites. Yeah, Alexander Bry will certainly be okay for practicing. I mean, I don't want to sort of diss them or anything, but the Bry that I got from them was fairly basic, which I suppose would be ideal for practicing. When I started off, I used their Bry as well. You can get stems there as well. P.E. Herman. I haven't heard of those for a long time. When I was first... Hey, Mike, how you doing? When I first started looking for places, I came across that name. But I never... I don't know if I actually managed to get on a website that could actually take my order. I'll have a quick look now. P.E. Herman. Alright, well, there is a website for sure. Briar, let's see what the prices are like. There's no conversion tool here. American Smoking Pipes, isn't that Mark Tinsky? I'm going to make a note of these and I'll look them up again later. Alright, medium plateau. $175 Danish. It's kroner, isn't it? Upper left corner, set to English. Oh, nice. Thank you. Well done. Thank you for that, Radu. Oh, it changes it to dollars. Alright, well, that's closer. Briar Plateau, $22. That's about standard pricing. Greek Briar, $10. That's good. What size is that? Size R2. It's going to take some more time to really find out what each thing is. Oh, there you got the size there, 40 by 54. That's a pretty good size. 40 is the width. It's not that big actually. It's okay for billiards. Might be worth a punt. I mean, I've not had great experience with Greek Briar myself, but some people love it. Certainly, you know, it's okay for textured finishes, as long as you don't get problems in the bowl itself. I've always had good experience with Italian Briar, but this will need some more time spent on it. Let's have a look at American Smoking Pipes. Yeah, pipe kits rather. $27 pipe kit 2. That's for a bent pipe. $27 to $32. Stem material, church warden, vulcanite, lucite. Add $5. There you go. $32.50 gets you an acrylic or lucite stem drilled. I assume it's drilled. Drilling was at the very base of the ball and centered perfectly. Alright, that's a review from a customer. Let's see what his briar costs. Right, he sells it by weight. Large plateau, 45 to 75. A quarter bag, medium platter, half bag. Wow. How many blocks do you get there? 244 blocks. 244, what's that, like 10? Yeah. It's about $10.50. That's a very good price. But because you're buying it in bulk. That would not be something I could do because, never mind the cost, but actually shipping it over here would be impossible. It would probably cost me as much in shipping. Well, that's cool. The stems, let's have a look at the stems. Oh, these are all... Oh, he's got a rod as well. Very nice. Okay. No worries, Radu. Mike, you be managing to do some deals on those pipes that you want to get rid of? The video you did the other day of your ebonite stems that you need to part with because of your hands. I know there's none drilled for 9mm, you would have said so, I'm sure. I realised that. I like the look of that first bulldog, the diamond shank. Looks like it might be able to be converted, but I'm not in the market for buying pipes right now. The living expenses here have just gone to a stage where it's almost untenable. The Bank of England on Friday announced another increase in the interest rates. Oh right, okay, it's hard to tell sometimes on the screen, it's too thin, fair enough. Yeah, so the cost of living here has just gone through the roof. My mortgage is now more than double what it was a few months ago, more than double, and it's becoming very hard. My energy bills is costing me around £150 a week. It's mad. It's literally becoming unsustainable, and I don't know when it's going to end, because petrol has come down a little bit, but it's still a crazy price. Groceries, everything's gone up. I mean, just crazy prices. I'll give you an example. Okay, it's a luxury, so we don't have to buy it, and we don't buy them anymore. But Pringles, yeah, we used to treat the kids to a tube of Pringles every Sabbath. So Sabbath morning, as a little treat, they'd have a little party on every Saturday morning. and one of the things they got was a tube of Pringles, and they used to cost something like £2.50 for a tube, something like that. They're now nearer £5, so we just don't buy them anymore. It's just crazy. A regular 6-pack of crisps has almost doubled in price. Just, you know, so we find ourselves just really sticking mostly to the basics. Don't buy meat anymore. Very, very rarely if we do, maybe on special occasions. Crazy. It's just gone mad, and I'm literally on the edge. I'm financially literally on my butt at the moment. My monthly outgoings have just soared. That's before the weekly food shopping and all of that. Just the mortgage, council tax, the phone bills, the car insurance, the house insurance, all of that, with the mortgage, must have gone up to something like £1,200, maybe more, £1,200 or £1,300 a month. And then there's, you know, every single week the energy bills, £150, between £100 and £150 a week. The food bills have gone up to a stupid amount of money, almost £300 a week. Kosher food is expensive anyway, and it's now even more expensive. So it's crippling. It is really crippling at the moment. One of the reasons why I ended up moving the workshop in here and not outside and not building a new workshop is because I simply couldn't afford to do it. You know, I had put down the slab a while ago next to the garage in order to build a purpose-built workshop, but I just couldn't do it. There's no way. I've got no heating at the moment. My boiler broke down, and tried to do a repair. My boiler is over 40 years old. I need to get a new boiler, but I can't afford it. So we've got fan heaters everywhere, which cost a huge amount of electricity. It's such an old boiler, it's hard to get the parts, and I'm hoping, I had somebody here last week, and he thinks that he'll be able to get the parts, so I'm hoping that this week we'll have heat again. And it's absolutely freezing at the moment. The weather is, we're right in the middle of a cold snap. So it's been a testing last week or two, very testing. Everybody's in the same boat, really. And if they keep putting up, I'm hoping that's it. I mean, they've kind of hinted that hopefully, you know, inflation is going to start coming down, and I can only hope that they don't increase it again, or at least not more than once or twice. And usually they used to increase it by 0.25%. This time they've increased it by 0.5%, which means my mortgage is going to go up again by quite a significant amount of money. And there's going to be a lot of people getting kicked out of their houses, and I don't know if they're going to bring in some legislation to stop that from happening. I mean, I don't understand economics. I don't understand how it works. Why increasing the rate of interest? You see, they're trying to obviously stop people borrowing money and stop people buying property. So why they can't limit it to people who are buying new properties, I don't know. Why do people who have existing mortgages, why can't they keep those interest rates down a bit? I'm not sure. I don't know how all that works. But that would certainly help. Hey John, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, that's certainly the case, that when the world goes through austerity or goes through economic crises, the richer people get richer and the poorer get poorer. That is how it works, because the richer people can afford to buy up and invest while everything goes down, while all the prices plummet. So property prices are going to go down because people can't afford to own their houses. People can't afford to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage. But I'm not really quite sure how that's going to make a difference, because people will then just go on to the benefit system, because they're not going to be able to rent a property, because rent is higher than mortgages. You know, if I wanted to rent this house, I'd probably be paying, I don't know, maybe £2,500–3,000 a month, which is triple what I pay in the mortgage. So I don't quite know. I don't pretend to understand how it works. I've never been au fait with economics, with sort of big picture economics. Hey Arthur, how you doing? Dorian, how you doing? Happy Hanukkah to you. But yeah, but still, we're here, we're surviving, we're working, we're having a good time, enjoying a bowl. Gotta be thankful for that. Family's healthy, the kids are healthy, the wife's healthy. Parents going through a bit of a time, but you know, it is what it is. And we do the best that we can. Not complaining, just observing. Alright, I've got to try and remotivate myself and do another stem. So originally it was going to be a spigot. I might just not do a spigot stem now. I might just do the shank cap on there without making it a spigot stem. I don't know. I have to see if I can motivate myself to do a spigot stem again. It's just a lot of work. For those of you who weren't here before, the idea of this was to be, I was going to have an so the same material was going to go on the end here, to be a rounded godet on the end. And then I was going to have a spigot style stem with the same material, but I managed to, when I was turning it, I got the chisel underneath it. I was too low and wrecked it. So that's finished, that's done for. So as I say, a lot of work went into this. You can see how thin everything is there. So the tolerances was very, very tight. So it was very slow and painstaking, and for that to bugger up is very, very frustrating, which is why I'm sitting here smoking a pipe and not working. And considering that's done on a wood lathe, I think that's pretty awesome, but it's my own fault. I only got myself to blame. If I'm lucky, actually, I might be able to save the ring if I'm lucky. $9 for no way, for 1,500 eggs. That's crazy. I don't know what an RX1 is, Dorian. Are we talking from a general store or is it from a kosher store? Because kosher is much more expensive. Quantitative easing, what? They're going to stop quantitative easing, which means inflation is going to go higher. Or not. So are you saying that they're going to stop quantitative easing and therefore inflation is going to come down? I was trying to explain that to my kids, what quantitative easing is and why it means inflation goes up. And I didn't do a great job. I just said simply that the more money we print, the less value it has. That's about as simple as I could get it.
Number one, I didn't realise.
Why are you wearing gloves?
I did this side, and then realised it was the wrong side.
Just leave it outside.
Can I do it?
I haven't told you. Oh, land registry. I used to be registered with the land registry when I was working in the property industry, in real estate. I'm actually just looking at this. It's so thin that you can actually see the blackness of the stem beneath it. So wouldn't have looked that good anyway, to be honest. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I didn't end up doing the whole pipe and it not looking that good. You're going too far ahead, Dorian. You're not saying enough words. You've got a lot going on in your mind, but you're only giving us little snippets like you've done in the past. You're way ahead of us, and you're only giving us part of what you're trying to say. And for the people who are not as clever as you, we can't work it out. I've got a variable rate mortgage. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a fixed rate mortgage, that's great. You know, that's worked out really well right now. It swings and roundabouts, you know. For years I had a very low mortgage and I had the benefits of it, but if the mortgage rates would have gone up at a time when it wasn't such a rough time for everybody, then, you know, maybe we could have coped better. But to use the mortgage rates having gone up at a time when everything is going up, it's hard to it's just hard to sustain. Return to democracy. Sorry, I'm not the same wavelength as you, Dorian. But yeah, I agree. Let's return to democracy. So yeah, there we are. Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and I can see that this would have been too thin anyway. You can see the black there coming through the adornment, which wouldn't have looked particularly nice. Oh, that's the name of the channel. Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to put the adornment on there, and then I'm going to put I think I'll put just a black stem on there. I think I've already sent it out. You know, the other pipe I did recently with the same adornment, which was it was a really nice thick walled. Let me see if I can get a picture up on. Oh yeah. There. This pipe here. So I'm going to probably do something like this again, but it'll be an egg rather than an author shape. It was actually very popular, and hopefully if it's clean, then maybe I can leave it virgin again and see how that goes. Stems fight back. It wasn't the stem that fought back, it was my problem. It was my own fault. You can see here what's happened is let me take you to the lathe, and I'll try and explain myself. So essentially, what I did was I had, when I'm turning, I'm holding the tool at an angle. So basically you want to try and turn it at the same angle as the tip of your tool. So you know, you're holding it at an angle like that, and I allowed myself to go too low, and I ended up going, because the lathe is spinning in this direction, it pulls the tool, it wants to pull the tool down, and your tool is sharp, it goes into your workpiece and it gets pulled down. So unless you're holding it firm at an upward angle, and you start to even get horizontal or a little bit below horizontal, it's going to pull it in. And that's what happened. I lost concentration, it pulled it in, I went underneath the piece of work, and obviously that broke it. So you just have to be careful not to do that. That was my problem.
Where should I put the piece on?
Put it there, wasn't it?
Or
Yeah. Just the screen, the rest of it you can put somewhere. All right, folks. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day for now. I've got to get ready for a Hanukkah party. Got the whole family coming over. Got to go and get some pizza, get some falafel, get some pita, and all of that kind of stuff. And then we're going to light the menorah today and have a party. So I've got to get with the family today, this afternoon. Might see you later tonight. We'll see. But for now, I'm going to wish you well. Thank you for keeping me company whilst I had a bit of a brain explosion. Tried not to lose my rag. I think we kept calm enough. Thanks everybody. Have a great day. Catch you on the next one.